It's Andy and Steph's Rude Awakening on Frisk. Now, I'm so sad to bring you some very tragic news. One of our very own Frisk Radio presenters, Nick Jordan, tragically passed away on Friday night after a short illness.
Otherwise known as Gary Wilkinson, Mojo and Pizza Man, the incredibly talented Nick Jordan was known across the Northeast and internationally, working on countless Northeast and national radio stations. You might not recognise the name, but you will definitely recognise the voice.
This is Frisk.
Monday morning, this is the one they call Nate Jordan. Proud to be on Frisk Radio on DAB Digital now in North and South Tyneside and in Newcastle and Gateshead. And we're getting bigger. Tell you more soon.
The tributes on Frisk's Facebook post have been beautiful to read, including being called a legend of the business, a Goliath in radio with a dream CV and a very dear friend. To us, he was just so wonderful to work with. When I first heard we were working with him, I was completely starstruck, but he put us at ease immediately and he truly was a star.
Such a wonderful man. Now, earlier this morning, we were able to chat with a few colleagues from former stations in the Northeast that have worked with them from back in the day. So our first call this morning, which we recorded earlier on, is from Kev Atkinson.
Frisk.
Right, so we've got Kev Atkinson on the line now. Now, Kev, you are lucky enough to work with Gary on air back in the day, and I believe you've got some stories to share about him as well.
Yes, some of my favourite memories of Gary. A text message saying, I've got a desk for you, for your home studio. Turned up to meet him, the desk must have been about 6 foot wide. And I was thinking, I didn't want to say no, so I got it in the car, got it home, got the absolute of my life off my mum. She was like, what the hell are you going to do with that? Many times practicing at a radio station that rhymes with the local train system.
I think I know the one you mean, yeah.
Little did I know that he could listen to me in the other studio, so I'm powering out these links, I'm talking this and that, and this voice comes through the headphones. He was like, I was rubbish that. I was like, how does this magic work? We exchanged all sorts of stuff over the years. It's very tragic, sad news. But one of the nicest guys, he would talk to you for 10 minutes, he'd talk to you for an hour on the phone. I once drove to Scarborough on the phone to him, and he never once said, I've got to go. He was always there for a chat, and I think he's going to be a massive miss for everyone.
He is. He's just one of those voices, one of those soft but approachable voices. You felt like you know him when he comes off air. You felt like, I'm friends with Gary now.
You felt like you were listening to a friend.
Yeah, all the time. It always felt like you had your best mate on the radio.
Absolutely, and he was one of the best.
Oh man, thank you so much for your story there.
Thank you.
No worries.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. What is love?
Monday morning, it's Andy and Steph's Rude Awakening. And if you have just joined us, we're currently paying tribute to Nick Jordan, who tragically passed away this weekend. Nick was one of our Frisk daytime presenters.
The comments and tributes from those who knew and loved him have been simply wonderful. Kenny Ellison wrote, "So sad to hear of this. He was a much-loved member of our radio club, a good friend and an amazing DJ, presenter with a real love for radio and music. R.I.P. Nick, Pizza Man."
Now, we've had a few calls earlier this morning with some of his former colleagues. So let's go to Tim West. We recorded this one earlier on with a call for him as he shares his memories with Nick Jordan.
Frisk.
So we've got Tim West on the line right now. Now, we've had a few people that have worked with the amazing Nick Jordan over the years telling great stories about him. Tim, have you got any stories you would love to share with our listeners today?
Hiya, yeah, thanks, Andy. Yeah, and it's still in shock, really, to be honest. I'm hearing the news over the weekend. But to be honest with you, I knew Gary as he was originally. Back in the 90s, we started, falling in love with working in radio for quite some period of time, and we sort of hang out, and then we got into working in radio. And our paths, career-wise, crossed a few times at different radio stations. But one thing I'll remember fondly more than anything else about Gary is just what an absolutely mad sense of humour that he had. A very sort of dry, dark sense of humour.
Yeah.
That even in it's something quite serious, like a big meeting in a radio station, he'd just come out with something. I'll be honest, sometimes very inappropriate, but hilariously funny. And you think, only Gas could get away with that. And you know what? That worked. And for that, I'll just treasure those memories, to be fair,
Yeah, he's going to be a huge, huge miss across so many people with great memories of him over the years.
Absolutely, absolutely. He was always asking about my family and my two kids, my wife, and he was always, and he was around our place, I was around his place all the time. And I've not seen him for some time. And then just heard the news over the weekend. So just a real shock to the system, obviously.
Yeah, we are still in massive shock here at Frisk. It's been such a weekend, such a sad weekend.
Yeah, we kept waiting for, the news that he was coming back, and then all of a sudden you hear this, and oh my goodness, just...
Of course, I just feel for his family over in Durham, where he grew up off Sherburn in Durham, and I really feel for his extended family and his cousin who put the news on Facebook originally as well.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing your stories with us this morning.
You're very welcome. Take care, guys.
Catch you soon.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
I would never find another lover sweeter than you, sweeter than you. And I would never find another lover more precious than you, more precious than you. The girl you are. Close to me, you like my mother. Close to me, you like my father. Close to me, you like my sister. Close to me, you like my brother. You are the only one, you're my everything. And for you, the song I sing. All my life, I pray for someone like you. And I thank God that I finally found you. All my life, I pray for someone like you. And I hope that you feel the same way too. Yes, I pray that you do love me too. I said you're all that I'm thinking of, baby. Said I promise to never fall in love with a stranger. You're all I'm thinking of. I praise the Lord above for sending me love. I cherish every hug. I really love you so much, baby, baby. I pray for someone like you, and I thank God that I finally found you. All my life, I pray for someone like you, and I hope that you feel the same way too. same way you do. Yes, I pray that you do love me too. All my life, I pray for someone like you, and I thank God that I finally found you. Oh.
Sandy and Steph's Rude Awakening on Frisk. Thank you for joining us. We are currently paying tribute to the wonderful Nick Jordan, one of our presenters who tragically passed away this weekend.
Reading the tributes on Facebook have been very moving. It's obvious he was a much loved and highly thought of person, friend and radio DJ.
Sean Hillary says, lost a great friend today since he started way back on Weir FM. His passion for music and radio just kept on growing. He had a heart of gold.
Now, earlier on today, we got to chat with Wayne about some of his memories from working with Nick. So let's go to that call now.
Frisk.
So we got Wayne on the phone this time. Now, me and Wayne have worked in Flares in Newcastle over the last few years. But Wayne, back in your radio days, you used to work alongside Nick Jordan. Do you have any more great stories about him?
Yeah, first of all, he was dead understated. He was just the voice, he relied on talent, and I remember being with we've lost too many radio people. I mean, I remember being in a bar with Nixie, who has passed away sadly, who got me into radio and to help me out. And we're in a bar, and there he was. He went by many names, Pizza Man, Mojo, and stuff like that. But he was just calling himself Gary at the time, so I had no idea. And it came around. They were talking about long wave radio, Atlantic 252, and that he worked there. And all of a sudden, I become totally starstruck because, as a person born in 74, grew up in the 80s and 90s, long wave radio was perhaps the defining radio of all time because you couldn't hear a damn thing on it.
Yeah.
And they had about 3 songs in the playlist, and all the presenters had fake names, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, had to come up with fake names like Sandy Beach and stuff. Well, I remember listening to him on long wave radio, and I was totally inspired. And I went on to say, "You inspired me so much that I used to do cash calls." He went, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, I used to pretend I was a DJ, and I would ring up random strangers and go, 'Hi, this is such and such doing a cash call, long wave radio, Atlantic 252. Do you know the phrase that pays?' And sometimes people would that you wouldn't expect." And they'd go, "Yeah, I listen to long wave radio, Atlantic 252. And we'd go, "You wouldn't imagine, yeah." And then we'd put the phone down back in the days when they couldn't trace you.
Oh, my goodness.
So I think we did about 7 on a Saturday, 6 on a Sunday. There's quite a few people waiting for their checks. So when I told him, he was absolutely gobsmacked. But
thanks so much for sharing that with us,
you.
Wayne.
This right here, tell me what goes out to everyone that has lost someone that they truly love. Come on, check it out. Seems like yesterday we used to rock the show. I laced the track, you locked the flow. So far from hanging on the block for dough. Notorious, they got to know that life ain't always what it seemed to be. Words can't express what you mean to me. Even though you're gone, we still a team. Through your family, I'll fulfill your dreams. In the future, can't wait to see if you open up the gates for me. Reminisce sometime, the night they took my friend. Try to black it out, but it plays again. When it's real, feeling's hard to conceal. Can't imagine all the pain I feel. Give anything to hear half your breath. I know you're still living your life after death.
Every move I make, every single day, every time I pray, I'll be missing you. Thinking of the day when you went away. What a life to take, what a bond to break. I'll be missing you.
It's kinda hard with you not around. Know you in heaven smiling down, watching us while we pray for you. Every day we pray for you, till the day we meet again. In my heart is where I keep you, friend. Memories give me the strength I need to proceed, strength I need to believe. My thoughts big, I just can't define. Wish I could turn back the hands of time. Us in the 6, shop for new clothes and kicks. You and me taking flicks, making hits, stages they receive you on. Still can't believe you're gone. Give anything to hear half your breath. I know you still living your life after death.
Every move I make, every single day, every time I pray, I'll be missing you. Thinking
day that I get closer to seeing you again. We miss you, babe. And we won't stop, cause we can't stop. That's right. We miss you, babe.
Every step I take, every move I make, every single day, every time I pray, I'll be missing you. Thinking of the day when you went away. What a life to take, what a bond to break. I'll be missing you. Every step I take, every move I make, every single day, every time I pray, I'll be missing you. I'll be missing you. Thinking of the day, when you went away. What a life to take, what a bond to break. I'll be missing you. Every step I take.
What a fitting song. It's Annie and Steph's Rude Awakening. Thank you so much for being with us this morning, for listening to our tribute to the incredible, the amazing Nick Jordan, who will be very sadly missed by all of us here at Frisk Radio.
He will indeed. Such a great voice and just a lovely person who quite clearly was loved by so many. Judging by the comments on our Facebook page, it would be just amazing for him to be able to see what he meant to people, what he meant to the people of the Northeast and beyond. For everything, Nick, thank you.